I'm Peter Rivera.
Coming soon.
I'm Ben Vereen.
And I love StageBuddy.com.
And you should too.
We are here with this year's MAC nominee, Tracy Stark, and she is nominated for musical director. Tracy, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. It's good to be here.
Well, it's wonderful having
you.
It's wonderful to have you here talking to me as well. Now, this is like old hat to you. I mean, this is nothing new to you. You're a 7-time MAC award winner. How extraordinary.
It's extraordinary. It's lovely that there are awards in the thing that I like to do.
Yes, exactly. Well, obviously, and you do it very well, to have won 7 times, and again being nominated again for musical director. Now, you've been nominated or won for music director, piano bar entertainer, and song of the year.
Yes.
At the MAC Awards, and also Bistro Award for musical direction.
That's right.
And the Cabaret Hotline Dottie Berman Songwriter of the Year Award. Wow, you're just—I mean, these are a lot of accolades.
That's nice. Well, I've been doing it a long time,
yeah?
So I guess at some point somebody noticed it.
Well, how long have you been doing this?
I started playing really. I was about 3 or 4 when my parents noticed that I had some talent.
No kidding. Wow.
I was in nursery school, and we were singing a nursery rhyme, and I stood up, went over to the piano, and started playing.
No way.
The teachers called my mother and said, "You have to give her piano lessons." It's interesting because I remember the books that I was learning from because I was so young that they didn't teach me how to read music. The music was shapes. So they were just dots. They weren't notes per se, but they were dots in shapes. So if the dots were a little bit separated, my hands were a little bit separated.
Oh my goodness.
So it was, it was an interesting way. And I actually sometimes think of it that way.
Oh,
my brain
that's
sometimes
amazing.
goes to that, it's a shape rather than all throughout my life, I've taken piano lessons. And I went to performing arts school for high school. They had one in Philadelphia. In fact, I was the first graduating class. There were only 40 people. It was very much like Fame, and Fame came out that year in 1980 was when I think 79 it came out, and that was when I graduated. Not to age myself. At the time, it was so new. It had no walls. There were people dancing in the hallways. There were people singing. It was really special. It was extremely special. It was everybody came from everywhere in Philadelphia and auditioned for this place, and it was incredible. It really was.
And just to be a part of the origination of that,
and all the outcasts. Every outcast from their high school was in our school.
Nice.
It was the best. It was the best. Yeah. It was it was so great. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have certainly come a very long way. You've worked with some incredible like rock and jazz and Broadway vocalists, just to name a few, like Leslie Gore, Phoebe Snow, Karen Black, Randy Jones from the Village People, Jimmy Osmond, Tova Feldshuh, Eric Milligan. I mean, and I'm sure the list goes on and on and on.
Bernard Dotson, a Broadway person. Yeah. Just played a show.
And one of the things that I love on your site is you say that you have sung at all of the finest and the sleaziest venues all over the world.
That's right.
In some of the back alley corner, like small clubs.
Absolutely. When you come in and you can feel the and you want to take a shower as soon as you walk in. You don't really want to touch the piano.
Yeah. You don't know where it's been.
You don't know where or else you do know where it's been. The funniest thing is I sometimes one night I'm in one of the finest places, and the next in the late show I'll do a gig in some, So sometimes it's unreal the differences between the things. But that's one of the things I love.
Oh, I agree.
I if I'm hired for something, I try not to have any expectations, and I just go in and I look around and I think, it's going to be like this.
Yes, right.
This is going to happen, and whatever it may be.
But I love that.
Yes,
I love that. And
exactly.
but that also shows your versatility in your thinking as well, which also comes across in your music when you play, which I absolutely love. I love that. Now, you also have a few CDs out. Now, your first one, Canvas of Dreams,
yes,
was followed by Feast for the Heart.
That's right.
And you also have a new CD that you're working on.
A new CD coming out.
And that's called?
That's called Shades of Beautiful, the Tracy Stark Songbook.
Nice.
And the reason it's called the Tracy Stark Songbook is because what I wanted to do was have other people sing my songs. I sing on a couple of the tracks, but I really wanted to find singers who I have admired, who I've played with, some of who I've played with, some of who I have not. But I wanted to just sort of do something different from what I've been doing. My first two CDs were myself, you know, and it was all me doing everything. I brought in vocalists who I admire, and
nice.
And so I've some great vocalists who sing things differently, maybe differently than I would, and I love that. You know?
Well, that's one of the characteristics about you that I have always admired. And from what I've noticed and what we've talked about also, is you are not just someone that walks in and sits down and accompanies someone or plays a song. You get involved with the artist, and you want to try to find out what they're feeling or what kind of presentation they want to give, and all of that, it just takes it to the next level, to a different level. Right.
It's not that I don't have my own things to say, but part of who I am, and part of why one of the reasons why I feel this is the perfect job for me in a way, not just because I have a skill at playing piano, but because I have the ability to tune into people. And, you know, sometimes it's exhausting.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Depending on the personality.
Right. But I really try to sort of have some give and take with a person. If I'm playing the same song with 3 different people, I might play it completely different ways, even though it's the same music. I really try to tune into people's energies when I play.
Yeah, and again, that is very evident. That comes through, definitely. Most definitely.
That's great.
Now, was there like a defining moment when you knew that like music was no longer a hobby, that this was your profession, that how you were going to spend the rest of your life?
I remember having a conversation with my mother where she said, you should take computer classes because that's what's going to be in the world when you get out of college. Right. And I remember thinking that would not interest me at all. I would advise people now that I'm this age, I would advise people to have some kind of a fallback, because I know a lot of people who haven't been as lucky as I am. But no, I didn't have any kind of fallback or other plans other than being a musician of some sort. But I really didn't know. I really didn't know in what way I would evolve as a musician. I've always been an insomniac. I would sneak down to the basement at 3:00 in the morning, and I would play Motown, and I would figure out Michael Jackson songs, and I would figure stuff out. And I always thought that I was being naughty. I thought that I was being bad, and I was, you know, doing something completely different from what I was supposed to be doing in my lessons.
Right.
And so, in that way, I developed a skill of, you know, sounding things out musically, figuring out how to play things in my own key. You know, just by you know, it was on my own that I did that. And same thing with writing songs. I just make things up. You know, I never was taught that kind of thing.
But that comes from passion.
Yeah. And it's also a skill I use very much. I mean, using your ear and transposing things, and I use that as much, if not more, as my sight reading ability.
Now, you have been around the world. Do you have like any funny anecdote? Well, I'm sure you have a list of funny anecdotes or funny things that have happened or embarrassing or something. Anything you'd want to share with us?
A couple of things come to my mind. I remember playing on a cruise ship, and the ship was really rocking, and I was in the pit playing for a show, and one of the dancers was doing this, and she fell right off the stage. And I kind of shook her hand and pushed her right back up.
Good instincts.
I don't know if this. I probably shouldn't tell this story, but you know, you play every night. A lot of times, sometimes you're bound to get ill.
Yes.
So my favorite my favorite ill story is I was playing in Hyannis, Massachusetts, and I wasn't feeling well. And I knew that, and I was so I was in the middle of a song, and the singer is singing, and I'm singing. I just kind of leaned over, threw up, and kept playing. And I remember the singer was looking at me, and I just went. And after she got off, she came over. I was still playing for other people, and she came over and she said, "Did you just puke while I was singing?" Yes.
Now that's a pro. That is a professional right there. Oh, live performances. Oh my goodness, that is brilliant. Well, now for say a piano player that is looking to break into cabaret, do you have any words of wisdom or any advice that you would recommend or tell them?
Although I had played piano bar throughout my life, playing in New York City is a little different, like at Don't Tell Mamas or the Duplex or Brandy's or places like that. It's about 8 hours of work, and you have to keep things up for that amount of time. And there are helpers, because all the people who tend bar and are the waitresses and waiters, they come up and will do a set of 3 songs throughout the night. So you do have help, but you need to know a lot of music.
Yeah.
You need to know a lot of styles. You need to sing with all the open mic people. It's a great training. Yes. So I think if I would give any advice, it's to do that. It's hard work, but you really, cut your teeth on that.
Absolutely.
And you learn how to play with vocalists, and you learn how to do all the skills that you need.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. Very good training. Very good training, definitely.
And as you say, be open-minded, and because there might be people who you play with who will give you gifts as far as beautiful experiences that you might not have because maybe you don't like that kind of music, or you don't,
Right.
I mean, I find that I've had such great experiences where I thought, I don't know if I should take this gig or not. And then suddenly, when it's over, I think that was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was lovely.
But that's also beautiful that you are open to learning and to expanding your experiences. That's part of it. And that's what makes Tracy Stark so incredible and wonderful.
Thank you, Tim.
Once again, Tracy, thank you so very much.
You're
and
so
congratulations on the nomination.
Thank you.
It was wonderful talking to the multi-award winning Tracy Stark.